So, we got 12 men in a room for 90 minutes. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another movie review. Guys, I'm going to be using my hands a lot today because I don't have a Blu-ray nor a poster for this movie. But nevertheless, guys, I'm going to be doing another old movie review. It's the last few weeks of summer, so I'm trying to literally fire out as many old movie reviews as I humanly possibly can. I am trying to watch a movie I've never seen before every single day of the week for the remaining few weeks of summer before I have to go back to school. But nevertheless, guys, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing a film that I just watched a few days ago and ashamedly admit that I did. And that film is 12 Angry Men. That's my old movie review for today. And guys, 12 Angry Men was released in 1957, all the way back in 1957. This might be the oldest movie I've reviewed on my channel now. I think it is. Yeah, what was in the #1 spot was The Graduate, but now we got 12 Angry Men. So guys, 12 Angry Men is directed by Sidney Lumet, I think, and this was his directorial debut back in 1957. And this film is highly regarded as one of the best courtroom dramas we've straight up ever had. So this must be a pretty damn good directorial debut. Before I get into my actual thoughts on the movie and what it was trying to say and all of that, what I first want to do is get into the synopsis of the film. So guys, basically we have a young boy who is of a different race, because it's not really specified what race this particular boy is. We just know that he's not a young white kid. He grew up in the slum backgrounds. He's 18 years old, and he is accused, he's on trial for the murder of his father. Okay, that's what he's being accused of. So the judge sends 12 jurors. There's a jury made up of 12 men into the jury room to deliver a verdict. Okay, and this kid is up for the death penalty. If he is accused of being guilty for this crime, he will be put on death row, and if he is not, if he's found not guilty, he'll get away with it. So the 12 jurors enter this room, and this is our entire movie. It's set entirely in this one juror room as these 12 men are going to discuss about a possible verdict. And, when they first get in there, of the 12 men, 11 feel he is guilty. There is one man who has some sort of reasonable doubt that he is not, and there we have a movie, a hectic, just utterly riveting 90 minutes of basically two different sides. One very small in the beginning, but slowly starting to grow as the time progresses. And that is all I am going to say about this movie. Now, I know I usually don't do spoiler reviews, and I'm not going to do a spoiler review for this movie either because I don't do it. So yeah, I'm just going to keep it spoiler free, even though I want to just spoil the hell out of this movie and just go in depth with literally everything that happened that blew me away, but I'm not going to do that. I just like myself when I just watched this movie. If there are people out there that still haven't seen this movie, by the way, this is like one of those movies that everybody needs to see before they die. Like, this is one of those types of movies. Even if you don't like movies, okay, just watch this movie before you die. It's good. So I walked into this movie blind, alright? I'd never seen a trailer. I didn't even know I just knew it was 12 men in a courtroom. That's it. And my word, was I utterly floored. But guys, 12 Angry Men, this is why this film is so great. Okay, I'll explain it. But notice, this is a film that when it was released, this could have easily failed as a movie. Okay, in terms of how they shot certain things, the cuts could have just been an utter disaster. The performances just could have been weak and just not dedicated in any way. And the whole concept and the basic screenplay for the film which is set in this courtroom for 90 minutes. That's it. And these men do not leave this room for 90 straight minutes. Yeah, they go to the bathroom, but like, it's like it's like connected to the courtroom. So they're in this room for 90 minutes. It's a hot summer day. The tension is riding amongst these men. They're sweating. They're making me sweat. And this is your movie. It could have easily been a gigantic flop, but no. Guys, 12 Angry Men is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Okay, like period. Right after I watched this movie, I instantly knew it's in my top 10 of all time. I mean, it is just that perfect of a movie. Okay, this is literally the type of movie I cannot find a flaw for. You're going to sit and you're going to watch this movie and you're going to say, oh, well, that's just really convenient how so-and-so is this. I don't care. No, I don't care. This is one of the most perfectly written, one of the most perfectly acted, and one of the most intense movies I've watched in my entire life, and the entire thing is set in a courtroom, save for the first 3 minutes of the movie where the characters are in the the jury room, like in the actual trial, and they go from there into the jury room. That's it. Literally the rest of the movie is one scene in a courtroom. Guys, 12 Angry Men is a highly intelligent, gripping, and engaging story that is so much more about a simple jury deliberation about whether or not this kid killed his father. Now, I love whenever movies involve like courtrooms and trials and whatnot, because I love how they, like, I love cases that are brought up. Like, I like trying to solve a case whether or not a person is guilty. And although this case has already been solved, so the lawyers and all the investigators think that were involved in it, it's the jury members themselves who have to come up with a verdict. And this is ultimately one of those movies where we get to see what goes on behind a jury room. The angst that is going on, the deliberation, just the tension between the opposing sides. And to just see all that unfold for 90 minutes is just something to be awe-inspired by. And that is what I felt as I was watching 12 Angry Men. Guys, this movie isn't just about a jury deliberation, and that's one of the best things about 12 Angry Men. This is essentially a film that is so profoundly deep in really important, near life-changing messages. Like, the themes of this movie are so strong beyond human reason, like beyond human thought. Like, it's unbelievable. The sanctity of, like, the film makes a point of stressing how important the sanctity of life is, or how messed up racial prejudice is, which is a highly strong theme in this movie. This also is a great depiction of selfishness and essentially the role of playing God, because that is what all of these men are here to do, in that they're playing the role of God. They have to decide a boy's fate. And when some of these men, let's say one of them wants to rush out and go to a Yankee game, a baseball game, and, you know, just says he's guilty, okay? Just get me out of here. I want to go to a baseball game. Or because of racial prejudices, some people are like, I feel he's guilty, alright? He grew up in a slum. How could you trust him? You know, the evidence is there. I don't even need to hear anything else. He's guilty. Okay, like, this is such a grand statement on how humanity looks at, you know, like, I can't think of the word. Like, it looks at certain circumstances and is either so quick to judge based on, you know, what you look like racially, you know, your ethnicity, or how just a race of unselfish or selfish people that we really are. We don't really take the time to sit there and think of the proper and justified deliberation, you know. We're quick to judge, and we're quick to become a group of people that just don't even care. And that's what some characters go down. Some characters go down these paths. And that's one of the, one reason why I love this movie. All of these characters, when they come into the movie, when they come into the jury room, they all have different viewpoints. They all think that, they all think differently. Some of them have, mixed backgrounds. One character grew up in the slums, so he can connect with this one young boy who's been going through all this. One older man can connect with one of the eyewitnesses who was an older man. And I just love how this cast of characters is so diverse, and they all have their own different viewpoints, and they all stand out. Like, they're all, memorable characters for the most part. I mean, there are two characters who ultimately stand out above them all, our two essential conflicting characters throughout the entire movie, but all these characters are different, and that's what I really, really loved so much about this movie. And it's their conflicting viewpoints that really add to the anxiety, the tension, and the angst that is really going on in the scene. And it just made me not able to take my eyes off of the entire screen. Now, each one of these performances, guys, is utterly real and genuine and just, natural in the utmost sort of way. Even the characters that you start to hate in this movie, as we start to discover how this case really went and what the real story may be, even some of these characters will make you feel for them because of what they are personally going through and how they're tying it in to a case as important like this. And that's just some of the best praise I have to give the character writing in this movie and the performances. Because what I'm going to do now, I'm going to read the names of the 12 actors, because I personally I'm dumb. I can't remember their names. But let's read the names. I'm just going to read them off, guys, real quick. We have Henry Fonda, Lee J. Cobb, Martin Balsam, John Fielder, E.G. Marshall, Jack Klugman, Edward Burns, Jack Warden, Joseph Sweeney, Ed Begley, George Voskovec, and Robert Weber. These are all the names of the 12 men, of course not in order. I also love how we don't get their names. They're just named by jury numbers. That's amazing. But guys, obviously the two standouts in this movie, all 12 of those men are fantastic, by the way, in which they are defending their own point of view, or they have a certain feeling towards a certain component of the case or whatnot. And just, they're able to bring a certain side to themselves where they are very defensive about something, or they feel very strongly about something, and they just brought it out perfectly. But the two standouts of this entire cast are essential leads when you look at all 12 of these men, and that is the leads of Henry Fonda and Lee J. Cobb. Guys, I'm kidding. I kid you not. Both of these men deserved Oscar nominations for their work in this movie. Just when the start, Henry Fonda's character plays the one man who in the beginning feels that there's reasonable doubt and feels that this young boy may not be guilty. He's not sure. Not really that he's not guilty, he's just unsure of what the verdict should be. He just doesn't want to say guilty and just send the kid off to be murdered, Because what if he's not guilty? But what if he is? And I think Henry Fonda, in his beliefs and how confident he was, and how whenever he felt like he was getting backed against the corner, against people who were arguing with him or conflicting with him, he just continued to rise up and just continue to prove people wrong and sway more of the jury members to his side. He gives a brilliant performance in this movie, completely unforgettable. Lee J. Cobb is also entirely unforgettable in this movie. He is just so vicious, and you don't know what his true motives are for just being so set in stone on the guilty verdict. He is one of the only ones you are not going to sway, and when everything is revealed come the final act of the movie, you are sat there in utter just disbelief at such fantastic writing. Okay? Now, those are the great performances. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but guys, yes, this is one of the best screenplays I think we've ever had in motion picture history. Okay? The dilemma, the conflicts at hand, how they are resolved or how they're not resolved, I don't want to spoil anything. Just the character writing, character actions, and decisions. I just love how all of these characters just have different conflicting viewpoints. And the hot summer tension of the room that they're in with no working fan, what? Just that mixed with this case and how they can't get in agreement with a verdict just adds to the tension and just the utterly captivating engagement of the film. And that's just one of the best bits of praise I can give 12 Angry Men. Its screenplay gives us memorable characters. It gives us legitimately surprising reveals in this case, as we find out that this case may or may not have been deliberated very well back in the courtroom. But in the jury room, the jurors themselves start to unravel little problems in the prosecution and problems in the defense. And that is just one thing that makes this movie work so well, so you don't know what points these characters are going to bring up next and how they're going to dig into this case, or if they're going to dig any deeper. It just is so eye-opening to watch a movie like this. And when you have a film that just tells this story and shows these characters and shows how human they actually are, because these characters are 100% human, because this is how humans are. They all represent different viewpoints of the human spectrum in the human mind, because we as people are quick to judge, and that's how some of these men are. We as people are quick to maybe take a different stand or a different viewpoint, or maybe we're more on the defensive and we want to defend a point before before the majority just steps in and says, no, you're wrong. We as a race are too quick to judge a person based on their race, because they come from a different background. You may think they're a worse person than, somebody else, and it's just so genuine of what humanity really does. That's why the screenplay affected me, and that's why it touched me in a way and made me say to myself, this is true. Like, this is how we are as humans. This is how we act. And it's a shame, but it's true. As I'm watching the movie, when the movie first started, and all these men go around the table and they say he's guilty, I said, yeah, he probably is. All these guys thinking he's guilty. I mean, yeah. And then I start to unravel, and the story starts to unravel further and further and further, and we finally just get to see just what the true story may be. And that's just why I love 12 Angry Men as much as I do. The film was also incredibly directed and shot, guys, by Sidney Lumet. What an incredible breakthrough directorial debut for this guy, man. I love the opening long take when they go in the jury room. Like, that thing did not cut for like 5 straight minutes. I was counting the time. And it's so amazing how just the movements, the panning movements. I also think that the shots that were set up, like, it's really difficult to set up shots and have them match continuity in this one enclosed space. And I think that they match the continuity in the editing and the cuts very well, actually. And that was very tough to do. They're shooting this on one juror room stage. Like, that's really tough. But it's just like, his direction was perfect in this movie. The shots were good. I love how some shots start to get tighter and tighter towards the end to really build up the tension and the uncomfortability that is building up within the room, and just that feeling of just, like that disgusting feeling, as these men are just trying to deliberate this case. And just all of that works so well for me, guys. The writing is genius. It's brilliant. It's captivating. It's provocative. It's riddled with tension. The screenplay is taut and smart. It's genuine. All of those adjectives mixed into one is why I personally love 12 Angry Men. Guys, I kid you not, I could not take my eyes off of the screen for the entire runtime of this movie. I was utterly transfixed by what was going on screen. I loved what I was watching. Every single second, I was utterly captivated by just the new places that the screenplay took us. And that is why 12 Angry Men, in my opinion, is a masterpiece of filmmaking and storytelling, and why I am going to give this movie a solid, perfect grade of a 10 out of 10 or an A+. Guys, I have watched many movies for my old movie review series this summer, but not one film has come close as 12 Angry Men for me. This is the best movie I've watched thus far this entire summer for my old movie review series. Single-handedly, it is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is genius. It is just brilliant in every single way possible. The ending is perfect. The performances, everything just flat out worked for this movie, guys. If you have never seen 12 Angry Men, like me a few days ago, but I'm in the 12 Angry Men Club now, please watch this movie, guys, and let me know what you guys thought of it down below in the comments. Please, guys, watch this movie. You will not, you will regret it if you don't. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.